This is the On Call Podcast, your home for sports, news, pop culture, tech, and the obscure. And of course, your host, Michael Meyer.
I can't help it when you make me feel this way. I can't help it when I don't know what to say. It's just that you make me speechless. You make me speechless. But you know I need you so badly. Till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll
welcome back. Been many moons, too many moons. This baby, I think, affected everything a lot more than Jackson. It's been a long. 8 weeks, 7 weeks? I typed 7 weeks, but now that I think about it, it's probably 8.
I don't know.
Because I think she's 7 weeks now. Plus the week before that has prepping for everything, so I didn't see it. But this is the MVZ podcast. See my ropes, my lights dangling in the background. The tape let loose. And I just got back from a golf cart ride with Banana, which I saw you. You were early. You were early today. Surprised. I don't know what you guys have been up to, but we decided to bring the podcast back today just because I knew I could get away with doing it. Although Nicole may come in and have me grab the baby and I may need to take a break for a second. But we came back on the perfect time where there's absolutely no sports going on. We have Canadian football. Although an exciting game because it looks like Montreal is making a real comeback right now. I think it's Montreal. Does Montreal have the ball? No. Ottawa.
Yes.
Do they?
Yes. Yep, Montreal has the ball.
I don't even know their scoring system. I just know that they have a longer field and a wider field. And they can run pre-snap like Arena League. And Randall Cunningham had a Hall of Fame career for them and the NFL. Him or Warren Moon, I mix the two up because it was like pretty well before my time when they were huge. So like I couldn't say, is that a touchdown? Touchdown.
Flag.
The only thing I know about Montreal, the Alouettes, is one of the Bears' worst coaches in history coached the Montreal Alouettes. Tressman, Mark Tressman. Mm-hmm. Piece of shit. He was a king of the 7-step drop back, like Mike Martz. It just didn't work. It did not work. Jay Cutler got the shit beat out of him. And he's kind of a, what do they call it? Like a paper napkin. Like it's a really bad personality. In actual NFL news, we're this close from like real action, real updates.
Yep.
You know, do you think, speaking of the NFL and real action, do you think the NFL actually likes this Deshaun Watson thing? Because
no.
I mean, it has kept him in the forefront of
They're always in
all news.
They're always in the forefront, though.
That was an unbelievably easy 2-point conversion.
They're always in the forefront. They don't like this. They are right now trying to figure out what suspension the public will be satisfied with to the point where they want to talk about it.
Is there one?
No, that's the problem. And that's why it's been so long.
This is a lose-lose.
That's why it's been so long because I know my dad was saying that they should suspend him for the year. He's like, because they'll quit talking about it. I'm like, no, they won't. They'll talk about it every single game.
Every game
Browns
that
play.
they suck.
Yeah, they'll just be like, yeah, well, Deshaun is suspended for the whole year. And so, like, I think they want to suspend him. Like, if they could suspend him for, like, 4 games and there wouldn't be public outcry, that would be ideal for them. Just because I think they just want it to be over.
If they could not suspend him.
If they could not suspend him and people would quit talking about it, they would love that. Or if they could suspend him and the media wouldn't talk about it, they would love that.
Oh, Jimmy Dean. I say the colors look like a fucking Subway commercial. I was like,
They just don't. They don't want this. They just don't look bad. They don't want to have another Ray Rice situation on their hands where they suspend him 4 games and there's public outcry and then.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, that's just they just want it to be over. So I think he'll end up getting like 6-8 games, something like that. They'll try to suspend him enough time that people feel like he got a big punishment, but then that they can move on with the season.
Do you think Donald Trump's a fan of Deshaun kind of taking what he wants, grab him by the.
No.
Even Donald Trump's not a fan.
No, I think Deshaun Watson has too much melanin for Donald Trump.
Too much melon? Yeah, probably.
I don't think that him and Donald Trump are the same. Hang out in the same circles.
Checking the. Checking the look of the video. All right, yeah, it doesn't look good. It's a little blurry. I'm gonna have to I think I'm gonna have to update the stuff. It's all right. Oh, yep. See, right. Keep talking. Keep talking. I can fix this on the fly.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited though. About 3 weeks until preseason starts. What, like 6 weeks until regular season? 6.5. Getting close to real,
It is
actual
fucking
football.
Exciting.
The NBA will come back in like October. Who knows where a lot of the team stuff to sort through there, specifically with the Brooklyn Nets and the Lakers. There's going to be moves made by those teams for sure. Utah's going to make more moves.
Do you think Lay GM is done?
I don't know. I mean, I think we'll find out based on the trade. I think that if LeBron has his way, he'll have Kyrie Irving. I think if he truly is stepping away, that they'll get like Buddy Hield, Turner, Beverly, like a package of players to try to fill out that roster. Because the problem was last year they had 2 really good players on the team. And then, I mean, when LeBron and AD were both hurt, they had 1 player who rated out, or they only had 4 players on the entire roster that rated out league average or better. LeBron, Anthony Davis, Carmelo Anthony, and Malik Monk were the only guys who had plus or minuses like in line with league average players or better. Not starters, just league average guys, just guys who play in the NBA. They had 4 guys who were average or better. That's not going to get it done.
Do you think is there going to be a big 3 this season? Who will it be?
I mean,
Draymond's coming back, or is he going to?
Draymond's not going anywhere.
Does he retire? Does he take
No.
Chuck's job? Charles
No.
Barkley?
No. Dre stays.
Is Charles Barkley gone?
No. You can't take it. Charles is must-see TV.
You don't think he's going to Live Golf? They said if he goes to Live, he can't. TNT can't pay him or play or have him.
I mean, I guess he might go to Live Golf based on monies. That is the craziest play.
How is it? Do you feel bad? Like he hustled that. He like 60 yards. He could tackle the 3. That's rough for a defender. That's probably an incomplete pass up. How do you feel about the Live Golf thing?
I don't know. I don't really care one way or the other about it. I don't care to watch the golf. It's not as like winning over there, losing over there doesn't matter to me whatsoever. But I get it. I mean, a lot of people want to like poo-poo them, but like, why are you a nurse? Is it to make money? Like, what if Saudi Arabia was like, we'll pay you $1 million a year to be a nurse here in the summers? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just what it is.
The money does help.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, it's just, I get it. Like, these guys play golf. Like, They're gonna go play golf somewhere else. Like it makes no difference. Like, it's money.
I don't like the golf purist's point of view from it is the biggest thing. Like, why is it okay that like 60% of the PGA sponsorships come from like Saudi money? So it's okay for a PGA to take it and then disperse it, but not direct.
The PGA doesn't like it because it's undermining them. Some of their players are leaving. I mean, and then magically they added a couple more tournaments and added like $60 million. It's like, where'd that $60 million come from? PGA. They just all of a sudden have this extra money that they apparently could have been giving the players.
Yeah, the John Deere Classic alone was like triple of the previous. Like, okay, where was this before?
Yep.
This is ridiculous. Okay, what is the stuff I brought to talk about? I don't know how much of a music fan you are. I should have asked that beforehand.
I'm familiar with music.
You've heard of music before?
I've heard of it. Hot cross buns. I get it.
Is that one?
Yeah.
You play it on a recorder?
Yeah.
Is there a CD, an album that you can listen to without skipping a track?
I don't know, probably. Is that helpful?
No, it's not.
I mean, especially like a lot of albums. I mean, here's the hard part. When's the last time I listened to an album? When was the last time I popped the CD in my car and had to let it go?
I mean, if you have Spotify or YouTube or Apple Music or anything like
I'm just making playlists or listening to the top music or whatever. Listening to I don't ever like listen to albums hardly.
So you're big on like Casey Kasem. Like, I'm up top 40 right now. Play.
Yeah. Yep.
This Montreal, this team came to fucking ball out in the last 10 minutes.
I just like what I like.
Still jamming out to NSYNC and Backstreet Boys every day.
I could probably listen to. There are some albums out there for sure. I could listen to an NF album pretty easily, all the way through.
The white rapper NF.
Mm-hmm.
The one that sounds exactly like Eminem from Michigan.
Yep.
Okay. So I didn't do rap. Like.
Rap to me will be the most likely that I could listen to a full album because there's not as much range in a rap album. So like if you like somebody, you're okay with kind of what their sound is. You know what I mean? Like, as weird as it sounds, like if you listen to Kid Cudi, you've all heard a Kid Cudi song. You've heard what Kid Cudi sounds like. His songs are fairly similar to one another. So like if you like one, you probably just like them all okay. To where like you have bands like Linkin Park where.
Well, they progressed and changed each album.
But they have a varying range, and then
It's because he's so talented. Chester Bennington was so talented.
or wasn't there like Hollywood Undead?
Oh yeah, well that's because they have two different lead singers.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying there are some bands where like I liked Hollywood Undead. I probably could listen to one of their albums.
Well, that's because the guy that actually sang laughed. So I like it. His name's Deuce. So he's got one of my favorite like Let's Get Fucked Up songs ever, and that's I Came to Party. And it's the version that I like isn't on Apple or Spotify anymore. So it's on my old iPod that I have to have plugged in to listen to. Like there's no battery left in it. And
oh man.
And that one they won't replace the battery. So I run the risk of like if I try to do it and the hard drive's destroyed, it's gone. But there's 5,800 songs on that iPod that have versions of songs that don't exist like anywhere.
Ooh, the Hamilton soundtrack.
Now we're talking.
I was just hit play, let it go.
So there's a band called Ingram Hill. During my emo days, there's a song from that album that I have, but clearly when 15-year-old Mike, 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old Mike I did not have the money to pay $1 or $1.29 for 6,000 songs. Mm-hmm. There's some Aries, LimeWire, Kazaa.
Not heard of Kazaa.
It was a lot like LimeWire. It was cancer for your computer. Aries for the longest time was where it was at. Like it was the one I had after Napster, and I had that for a long time. And then when I moved to Florida, I had such bad internet, so like burned up my laptop. Just like
I knew a lot of people that had LimeWire.
Here's 87 songs. It's gonna take 193 days, but you will have this music eventually. Welcome to Dial-Up. If I was going to say a rap album that I listened to all the way through, no skips, 50 Cent and Get Rich or Die Trying. That is my jam.
It's a good one.
I'm so white. Like, it's the prototypical, like, a white dude's going to love. But it was the first time I was in someone's car that wasn't supervising me. There was no parental guidance. So I was like 13 and my cousin was 17, and it was like,
let me pull it up. Let's see what all 50 Cent's goodness is on that album.
oh man, even the skits are good. But that's in the club. High all the time. It's like I don't know the names of the tracks because I don't look at the tracks. I just play.
What up, gangsta?
What up, bud? What up, cuz?
Patiently waiting.
I've been patiently waiting for
many.
Wish death upon me, Lord. I don't cry
in the
more.
club. His least favorite song of all time, by the way. Makes sense. He sung it every night for 40 years.
Dude, if I skip a song in that CD, it's that song. Because it doesn't fit the rest of the album.
Yeah. High all the time.
Yep.
Heat. If I can't. Bloodhound.
If I can't do it, homie, it can't be done. I'm going to let the champagne bottle pop. I'm going to take it to the top.
Yeah, that's a good one. Bloodhound.
Yeah. There's a lot of...
Back Down.
Oh, no, Back Down's always got the barks in it.
And this one. I don't know what you heard about me.
So another song...
That did not age well in society. He just straight up talks about being a pimp.
So the Pimp remix, that was one of the things I stole on Aries way back in the day with Snoop Dogg. And it was a lewd video for like BET Uncut. So that video is honestly got like a bunch of like mixed Asian chicks with big fake boobs, just topless rolling around in a mansion. And it's one of the best rap videos ever.
Which one?
Pimp. The Pimp remix with Snoop Dogg and the rest of the G Unit. I had a big thing. Lloyd Banks, I loved his raspy voice at the time.
The next really big one on the album is 21 Questions.
Yeah. Who doesn't love Nate Dogg?
What?
He is Mr. Featuring.
Yeah.
Rock album. And that's because I had to. Because it was before my first iPod. It was legit. I had a CD player that I had to use bass boost and the skip protection. Because I was riding my bicycle for like 7 miles to basketball practice during summer camp. So I'd put Audio Slave, it's their first CD, and my headphones. And I had a backpack that had the headphone hole in the top of it so I could put my headphones in and not have to carry my CD. Man, those were the days. I had to ride my mountain bike to and from basketball practice all summer long, and I'm not going to stop and change CDs riding from the hood of Beloit, Wisconsin to South Beloit High School. So, a lot of Audio Slave. Eiffel 65.
Eiffel 65, a whole.
Their first CD that had Blue, Dabba Dee. I listened to that a bunch. I'm blue, dabba dee, dabba da, dabba dee, dabba da. My favorite song on that CD is probably My Console. Playstatation. Tekken 3. Metal Gear Solid. Resident Evil. Gran Turismo. Country albums. The Pure Country George Strait CD. That is for as far as country albums go, that's a banger. Or Alan Jackson. No. That's because Alan Jackson's got like 4 greatest hit CDs, so like one of those. Country, man, country's hard for me to play. Like I have to be in the mood to hear some country. And now there's so much like rapabilly out there. I can kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. It's good to see Jelly Roll getting a lot of props these days.
Toby Keith.
Yeah. I'm not listening to him at all. I have walked out of places when a Toby Keith song has come up. That's just like Kid Rock. So I cannot stand Kid Rock today because I grew up with the ba. So like now that he's Mr. All Summer Long and like FJB, I'm Free, like dude, he grew up rich as fuck. Like he is not your voice. So all these, this area that we live in a rich white area and a poor white area. And on both ends of the spectrum, they're very red. Mm-hmm. But if you're both listening to Kid Rock, that is purely marketing that you think he's for you. Because he grew up rich as shit on a ranch outside of Detroit, Michigan. He was rich before he was Kid Rock, the rap rocker.
Do best ofs count?
Like greatest hit CDs?
Yeah.
They shouldn't, but if a band's good enough that they have like 15, yeah, I'll get it to you. As long as it's not Drake.
Just what about one of the albums? I feel like I could definitely do a Nickelback album.
Listen, Nickelback gets way more hate than they deserve.
I know. Actually, I have said on this podcast before, I think they're the most underrated band of all time. Not even because they're the best, but because everyone says they're the absolute worst. And they are not. They straight put out like 7 or 8 songs that were just on the radio on repeat.
Silver Side Up, man. I got that CD for Christmas in 2004, I think. 2003. Hey Siri. When did Silver Side Up come out? ...2001. So I guess it was September 11th, 2001. That was not a great day to release a new CD. So that Christmas, I got Silver Side Up. About why. And then Reddit, I like for like grotesque shit, so I know. And that came up. I was in a conversation with a guy after that suicide video, and it's just like everyone has intrusive thoughts. You never thought like, "Whew, man, why did I think that?" No.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure everyone at some point is like, "What if I just stopped it right now? Like, I don't want to be here. Fuck this. I'm over it." Or what if I just turn to this traffic right now and just head on plowed into that guy? Sometimes you just have to see something dark to be like, all right, you know what? I'm good. I didn't like that. That's not my thing. Okay. So I share a lot of stuff with Nicole, and she's like, why do you send me sad shit? I was like, well, sometimes you just gotta feel.
I don't have the intrusive thoughts that like
All mine are darker. It could be
like that are darker, I guess, that often. But I have a lot of thoughts of just like wanting to just say something that'll just make somebody uncomfortable and then leave.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of those. Like I've had intrusive thoughts before, sure, but like I said, I have a lot of the uncomfortable ones. Like we were at Disney last weekend, and the guy pushing the stroller, and I don't know what. Instantly, I wanted to look at the guy and be like, "I'm impotent," and just like stroll away. So it's like I would leave, and he would go, "What?"
You think about that the rest of the
His
day.
whole day would be like, "Why did that guy say that to me?" Like, I don't know. I just think about that stuff all the time. Like, what if you just said something weird to somebody and walked off?
That's not even intrusive
That's
thought.
not an
That's
intrusive
just
thought,
like,
but it's
hey,
just,
can I weird this guy out a little bit?
Yeah, no, but like I have those all constantly, and that's what. The only reason I said it's similar to an intrusive thought is because of my reaction being like, "Why would I do that to somebody?" Like,
I guess technically, yeah, it is
Yeah.
an intrusive thought.
but I have those kind of things all the time. It's just like, what if I just did that? Like, what if I just did something crazy?
I don't think anything. I think that would be fine.
I just like,
You got to keep people on their toes, man.
just like a lot of different things. Just, I don't know. I can't think of any more examples, but I've thought of tons where I've looked at my,
Maybe I'm a psycho.
when my dad and I are shopping or eating or something, and someone says something like, "What if I just looked at him and said that?" And he's always like, "Why would you do that?"
I guess I better.
That was the game-tying touchdown. He just dropped. There was no one near him.
That's why he's in Canada and not on the Seahawks.
Oh, it's mean, eh? Get him a donut, Jimmy Hortons.
Timmy Hortons,
Watch this.
what are you doing?
So he's super fun for everyone who's watching us. And
That's a
can't see us
touchdown.
play.
No doubt about it. Oh man,
That's bad.
he had 4 yards, 5 yards of
And it's both hands.
both hands. That's a no doubter.
Yikes, yikes.
What a hoser. Do you ever? I don't know how much actual driving you do, or you spend most. Oh, is that a face mask?
That's,
Or do you spend a lot of time like in the office?
I'm like never in the office.
I, honest to God, spend a lot of my time driving, and just like, should I really work on my like Wisconsin accent? Because
I drive and never try to work on an accent.
I'm
It's never on my
because I'm from so far south in Wisconsin and Illinois. Like, I usually the Midwest accent is considered the lack of an accent, but like an hour north, it starts.
It's so funny how everyone in like the Midwest is like, "Oh, how," like everyone always says we don't have an accent. Of course we have an accent. I'm like, "No, we don't."
We don't.
And they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Have you seen television? How do they talk?" They're like us. Yeah.
It's meant that way to not
Exactly.
invoke any of the borders.
It's because like if you heard someone from Georgia, like they got quite like the molasses falling out of their mouth drawl.
Shit, Florida, old Florida,
Yeah, North Florida, like the Panhandle, like right up by Georgia.
Inglewood. If you're born and raised in Inglewood from old Inglewood, you have a Georgia drawl. And he's like, "Hey, where are you from?" "Oh, I was born and raised here. My daddy's from here." It's like, wait,
Yeah.
here,
And then you have
like,
then you have the clear New Yorkers
New
that
York.
you deal with here too.
Oh, a lot of.
I'm going from Boston. I can't do Boston.
I'm a total asshole. We don't do. That's a go park your car.
Yeah, got a lot of those.
Get the fuck out
But
of here.
really,
Go-
most people just have Midwestern accents down here because just
Yeah, because
Well,
it's
it
such an
is.
amalgamation. The whole idea is just to eliminate your accent.
yep.
And then you think the vast majority of TV is filmed in California. But have you heard people from like the Valley and stuff? It's not. It sounds slow. Surfer dude stuff is pretty common like in the Valley. Unless you're in LA, because everyone's trying to make it in LA by sounding Midwest. And then, Minnesota. Oh, Minnesota, don't you know? Up over yonder.
Yeah, Minnesota's got a weird accent.
Yeah, it's the Yoopers.
It's
the
weird
Yoop-
that like. All right, so I didn't know Philadelphians had accents
Yeah.
until I watched the new Bel Air show on Peacock. I was watching
I've
some of
watched it. The drama.
I've watched some of that, and like he's just using all these terms. I'm just like, oh, it's rough. It's
I
rough.
think what's crazy, like, there's the masshole New York, Northeast accent, and then there's the Baltimore accent.
I don't know. Baltimore's a mess.
Baltimore has its own accent.
They also have like they're drinking an Old National beer with Old Bay seasoning around the rim. That's just messed up to put Old Bay seasoning on the rim of your beer.
The only time I would consider an Old Bay seasoning was like with a.
Like fish.
Well, that's why. So like a gumbo, which would mean a vodka tomato drink. So a Bloody Mary, I would consider game over. I would consider.
It's
They have a
fourth down
timeout.
now.
They don't have a thing on there. I would consider a Bloody Mary with Old Bay seasoning on it.
Oh,
Old Bay is
what is
fucking
happening?
delicious.
The clock's not running.
Did they have a timeout? Like they don't have things like Fox and every other normal.
Well, this is TSN, so it's first down. They only have 3 downs.
He
Apparently,
gained 19 yards.
no, they only have 3 downs. It's Canada.
Oh, it's a turnover.
Yeah, turnover on downs because they only have 3 downs.
3 downs to go further, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you also get to get moving before you snap the ball. So can you imagine Tyreek Hill in that system? Just full speed before you snap it.
He would break the vast majority of records in 5 years.
Assuming they had a quarterback who could hit him.
Tiger, Cats, and Lions coming up next. Oh, my. Oh, let's see. Oh, that felt good. Oh, wait. I had other things I wanted to talk about.
We were going to try fentanyl live on the podcast. This may be the last time you see us.
Yeah, who knows? I was looking it up. Oh, that's not trades. So, the biggest off-season moves in the NFL this off-season.
Okay.
Doesn't have to just be players.
Obviously, Deshaun Watson. Sticks out like a sore thumb.
Why do people like Bleacher Report talk about draft picks? Like, it's not. It doesn't count. So I don't like.
There was
well,
a lot of big movement this year, though. Devontae Adams moved.
That's a big one. Yeah.
AJ Brown.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Deshaun. I'll give you Deshaun. I say you can't use the draft. Like the Cleveland Browns going for Amari. Like I'm kind of shocked. Like the Cowboys didn't try for keeping him. I mean, I'm sure they tried, but they didn't try hard enough. Tiger Cats. As a Bears fan, to me, biggest thing, it's a whole regime change. A true trying to change the entire identity of a team, I feel is a huge move. Letting Nakeem Hicks go to free agency, not trying to retain Allen Robinson, letting go Eddie Goldman, who ended up fucking retiring. So, like, people can criticize Ryan Poles for drafting.
Letting the Steelers get Bears legend Larry Ogunjobi.
That's probably the worst move.
That was so weird.
That's probably the biggest move that I would criticize, that they didn't work on getting that. And then they would have 2 great 3 techniques in him and Justin Jones.
Pittsburgh got him
for nothing.
for basically nothing, yeah.
Was $7 million or 10?
Low. I don't know. Like if he's healthy,
He's a game changer.
like that was a great signing for us. Pittsburgh made a lot of moves like that like in the media is just saying how bad we are. Like our defense should be a lot better. I mean, we added Miles Jack. We added Larry Ogunjobi. We have
So the worst part of the CFL truly is quarterback play. Like, he was open by yards, and by the time the ball got there, 3 defenders got close enough to tackle him.
yeah, it's
He did not lead him at all. I threw it where he's at.
I prefer this like the USFL. Terrible.
Yeah.
I prefer this because at least it's like set up to where the offense is being assisted with them being able to be moving and stuff. So it's just going to have bigger plays to where like the USFL played straight up and the quarterbacks are bad. So then they just didn't move the ball.
And they've only got to be within, 3 yards of the line of scrimmage by the time the ball's hiked?
But to me, it's just funny because like Pittsburgh, the Vegas line is 7.5 wins. And so we're supposed to be going 7.5 and 9.5. We're supposed to be real bad. Everyone's saying this is going to be Tomlin's first losing season.
It won't be.
Like we didn't just make the playoffs last year. We limped in, mind you, we did. But our defense, like I said, we got Miles Jack who's better. we have signed. Our secondary is basically the exact same.
Starting healthy plus
Our defensive line, we signed Ogunjobi, and we added like Alulu's back healthy. Offensive line, we improved. Quarterback, I think Trubisky and Pickett at worst is like a lateral move to what was left of Ben.
I think you upgraded.
They should be. I mean, mobility, we should have upgraded just
And
from
arm
that
strength.
alone.
Like he was just a dumb down. He led the league in check downs.
We didn't lose
by a lot.
We didn't lose any of our offensive players really. Fryermuth will be his second year. Najee will be his second year. Deontay's not like aging, obviously. We replaced Ray McLeod.
I think Najee has a huge breakout year running the ball because he won't be abused so much as a check down, which hurts me in PPR leagues. But I think
we basically replaced Ray McLeod and James Washington with George Pickens and Calvin Austin. That's
good.
It's better. It's just better. So I was thinking, it's like we're just better than we were last year, but yet we're going to lose more games. I think this is where people underestimate coaching.
I didn't even realize the dog was here.
People think that Pittsburgh's just gonna suck because on paper we just have a lot of people you don't even know because our team is stupid young.
I think you guys are going to sweep the Bengals this season.
We have one player on our starting 22 over 30. It's just Cam Hayward.
So
everyone else is 27 or younger.
It seems the Bears and the Steelers are kind of in the same boat with that as far as that goes, because the Bears are so young. They had the third oldest roster in the league last year, and they let those veterans go because they're not. I would love that the Bears would have brought Akeem Hicks, but you can't. Mm-hmm. He's only healthy 7-8 games a season. Mac was hurt for the last 2.5 years. He is a game changer when he's in, but you can't count on him being in.
I really think that the media's perception of Pittsburgh being bad is based on the fact that they think defenses don't matter anymore. And they're only looking at offense, and then we just don't have any star power on offense.
You don't have Tyreek.
We don't have anyone on offense that people know yet. Like Deontay, I think, is really, really good, but people don't know. Like, the media doesn't talk about him. Najee Harris is probably our most well-known. Him and Claypool are probably our most well-known offensive players.
And one of them's known for bad reasons.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's just...
Is this Claypool's last year in this contract?
No. He did one more after this year.
Wow. He's so young.
Our old team is, stupid young. But that's the thing is, I think that people just... They think that we have to score 40 points because they think that's what everyone has to do. But if our defense is as good as it should be, we're not going to have to beat the Chiefs 48-42. We're just not going to have to. We beat the Bills last year.
How many games did Minka miss?
With Ben.
Any? He missed a couple, right? Knee, ankle?
I don't remember.
Hey Siri, how many games did Minka Fitzpatrick miss last season?
I don't remember him missing any, but I know TJ Watt missed a couple. The thing is, I think that they seem to think that we need to put up these points. Like I said, we beat the Bills last year with Ben, and I think the media is also thinking about Ben as prime Ben and not what Ben was last year.
He missed one game. He only got 16 games played.
Yeah, they're seeing it as they're going from a Hall of Fame quarterback to an unknown. It's but
a Hall of Fame quarterback has sucked for 2 years.
Yeah, he was bad last year.
He's the reason they lost the playoff game.
He was bad.
That was a rough game to watch, that Cleveland game.
I mean, the sad thing is he was honestly, it got to a point where I was thrilled when he didn't lose us football games. He didn't win us any. He played okay at times, but he didn't outwardly win us any games. Our defense won us games.
I think if they had had Antonio Brown, he would have been a huge distraction because he could not have thrown AB the ball the way he needs it.
Yeah, he could have just put it in his area. AB's stupid. The thing about AB is I think that AB might have prolonged how good Ben looked for years.
Yeah, he was mascara. He was concealer.
I think he was, and like we thought it was the other way around, but as soon as AB left, the year AB left, Ben looked washed immediately. And so I wonder, was it just being able to throw the ball basically out of bounds to where Tony Two-Tap could just make that catch? You know how many times we'd hike the ball and just throw a screen to Antonio and it'd be over 25 yards? Like, we just threw it to him over and over and over and over and over. And then the other thing about having Antonio is when he's getting triple covered every freaking play.
Do you think he ruined his career?
He's done.
Do you think he ruined his career?
Antonio?
Where would he have ranked in all-time greatness?
If he would have never left Pittsburgh, we'll say?
If he had not had his mental issues.
Yeah, so if he didn't force his way out of Pittsburgh, because he was under contract for a couple more years, he would. I think there would have been an argument for him being the best ever. I mean, that 6-year stretch is ridiculous. When you look at his stats, like no receiver, like 120 catches, like 1,600 yards, and like 16 touchdowns every single season for like 6 years in a row.
He was an explosive Michael Thomas with a higher route tree.
He did everything.
A better.
Like the Pro Football Focus, I remember one year they said he ranked as the best wide receiver in the red zone, the best wide receiver in the slot, the best deep ball receiver, and like the best yard after the catch receiver. And I'm like, how do you do all those things?
And
he was so good with the ball in his hands that we were letting him return punts. Like, the thing is, because that's the thing is, so like.
He kind of did everything you shouldn't. If you have a number one, you don't let him do that.
But you don't let him return punts. And the thing is, I guess
he's so durable.
There was a deal with him, with Tomlin, where he said, if you ever get popped, you're done.
Never got popped, huh?
Never got touched, really. He ended up in the end zone or out of bounds, basically on every punt return. Like dude didn't take hits.
So good.
So good.
His skill is so high he could never coach.
Yep.
And no
mental health aside.
And as it's been described since his retirement, and like I watched him on the not I Am Athlete, the Pivot.
Oh, he's not officially retired.
No, but he said he's not playing this year.
Because no one will have him.
Don't kid yourself. Don't play yourself thinking I'm a play, is what he said.
He's not playing because no one will have him. He'd love to play. And what's gross about the NFL, though, is not that Antonio deserves to play. He doesn't. Is he deserves to play more than Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Antonio is just mentally messed up. I mean, that's what it comes down to. He's just out of control. He needs counseling and probably medication.
I do think he does. His narcissism has got the best of him.
The weird thing is,
I do think he has some.
He wasn't like that
disorder.
out of college.
As soon as he got paid, the first.
Well, as soon as the NFL, he was driven. He worked hard. He was driven to be. I'm going to be the best in football.
He still works hard.
The problem became once everyone said you are the best. Then I don't think he wasn't as driven anymore to prove that he was the best. So he just like let it get to his head and just became absolutely crazy. And he became so hyper fixated on being the best that when Juju had more yards than him that one season, it broke him. I mean, that's really what broke him. If Juju doesn't have more yards than Antonio, I don't think Antonio snaps.
Do you watch those podcasts on YouTube or anything? The Pivot.
Mm-mm.
Ryan Clark's one of the hosts. Ryan Clark and AB were
they don't
BFFs.
like each other.
No, they were BFFs by like a lot. Like
not now. They hate each other.
Right. So, from the words of Ryan Clark when he talked about it before AB was on the podcast, as soon as discussions began about getting an extension and getting that second contract, AB changed. He believed the hype, and then it turned into a me game. But like Ryan Clark, like he sounds like he's like a truly religious, like golden rule type of person, and I can respect that. So as long as you're not pressing, like, don't force your religion on me. He's one of those. He lives by like I got your back. We are brothers.
Well, did you hear the Ryan story Ryan Clark told about AB and Dick LeBeau?
No, I did. I was talking about the Ryan Clark, and after Ryan Clark hosted Antonio Brown's son on his 2nd birthday, AB hadn't even had his real money yet, so like they were at Ryan Clark's house. They did all of the work to get the birthday and everything, and shortly thereafter, because someone was talking about weed through the media, and AB smokes weed, Ryan Clark was like, some of my teammates smoke weed, and this is what it is. I don't do it. It's not my thing, but you do you. You get popped. It's on you. AB took it to heart. It turned into like a big blowout. Like, oh, you outed me and shit like that. It's like, no. I said some of my teammates smoke weed. I don't. But he took it to heart, and it became like a big thing.
I guess there was one practice where AB was just torching everybody, which
Always.
like he does. I mean, that's just how he is. And he was being real me in practice. And Ryan Clark was like, hey, like, chill. Like, he's like, you guys can't guard me. You can't guard me. And he's like, we're on the same team, dude. Like, chill. And then I guess AB eventually was like, even Dick LeBeau, he goes, put Dick LeBeau out here. He's like, he's a Hall of Fame corner. He can't guard me. Ryan Clark's like, dude, 72. Like, what are you talking about? And it just shows you, like, he said that was the first time that he realized Antonio wasn't, like, fully there. Because he's like, he seriously was trying to use an argument of, I can roast Dick LeBeau in one-on-one coverage.
Proved it.
Like,
I proved my greatness. Who the fuck are you?
yeah, it's like, makes no sense. That'd be like LeBron being like, I could beat Michael Jordan right now. One-on-one, me and him.
Who's
Like,
your...
Michael's going to be gassed, like, 2 points in. Like, he just...
let him keep beating up on, like, teenagers and, like, middle-aged men like me.
Yeah, I think it's like...
Who's your guys' 3rd wide receiver?
Claypool.
Who's your 2nd?
Pickens.
You can't say he's a 2nd. You don't fucking know yet.
He's the 2nd.
You ain't even had OTAs yet. Or training camp.
No, I know. I just know what Claypool is. Claypool will play the slot.
You know what throws me off is every time I think of George Pickens, I think of him standing in front of the TV with that mask.
Yeah, dude's gonna be.
Throws me off.
Dude's gonna be such a thug out there on the field. He's gonna be so awesome, or he's gonna get suspended. One of the two.
He looked like a
Not much in
derpy
between.
anime character to me,
not
not
much in
like
between.
a thug.
Dude's a stud. I mean, he put up stats with freaking the Georgia offense that is not friendly for receivers. So, dude's gonna be good. But the thing is, I think he'll be the number 2 right away. Depending on what you mean by number 2. Like,
I hope he doesn't have the wide receiver.
Yeah, he'll be out wide opposite Deontay. Deontay will be the 1. Claypool will play slot. But I mean, honestly, I'm not sure our number 2 receiver is not going to be Pat Freiermuth at this point, to be honest with you. As far as like actual like production, so about like receiving production, I think it's probably Freiermuth. That dude showed out as a rookie tight end, and rookie tight ends don't show out. No one talked about Freiermuth because Pitts was just such a freaking monster.
He's not explosive.
Well, and Pitts is barely a tight end. He lines up wide.
He's a wideout.
He's a wide receiver.
I think the reason because he gives off hardcore Kyle Rudolph vibes. Because he looks like a tight end.
His stats as a rookie were in line with Kelsey and
Gonzalez.
Bronx and Gonzalez and Gates and all those guys. But it's like people don't remember that tight ends don't just go to the NFL and succeed immediately.
It's considered one of the hardest positions in the NFL to learn because you have to learn all blocking techniques, shadings, chip blocks,
people
route
think
trees.
Gronk got to the league and just dominated immediately. That is not the case. Kelsey, people in fantasy, like by his 3rd season, we're talking about like, is he a bust for fantasy?
Mm-hmm.
No. So like, it just shows you like Freiermuth could be special.
That's why I do feel kind of bad for like Cole Kmet for the Bears. He was never a breakout wide receiver. He wasn't that guy at Notre Dame. He was a great blocking tight end.
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted Travis Kelce rookie year and 2nd year. But like, this is already a new. Now he's learning a whole new system in his 4th season. It's like,
Yeah.
it's rough.
Yeah.
A whole new scheme's rough. God, I hope the Bears don't suck.
The thing about Freiermuth, though, that I love is he set all kinds of touchdown records at Penn State and immediately scored touchdowns in the NFL. And that dude just doesn't drop it. He just catches everything. Like
Who's
if
your
you hit
guys'
him,
OC?
Matt Canada.
He was at last season too, right? And
Yes.
before that,
Yeah,
and the year before that, it's 3 years ago. Was Todd Haley, right? 3.
there was someone in between Todd Haley and Canada.
I think Canada's got a good scheme.
Who was it before? He was awful. I don't remember. But Canada is someone who's interesting. He wants to run a like RPO offense, like with just unbelievable amount of motion. Like players just like doing this. Well, with Ben, it was useless because he's so immobile.
There's no motion.
They wanted to basically snap the ball, like fake a jet sweep, do like a PA bootleg. That's what he wants to do, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work with Ben. So they said that last year was like a hybrid of like what Canada wanted to do. That was Canada's first year last
So
year.
truly, Trubisky like is his guy.
And Pickett, they're both mobile. So like either way, whoever wins the battle, we're gonna get to see what Matt Canada's offense looks like in the NFL. That's why I was so amped when we got Trubisky before the draft, because I was like, okay, I think that's so smart. Sign a guy. Don't sign like Garoppolo. Sign a guy like Trubisky where you can run Canada's offense, because what if the offense is just garbage? It just doesn't work at this level. Then you can figure it out before you have your franchise guy or whatever. We can test what this offense, if it works. But it's going to be wild. They're going to be doing all kinds of weird stuff.
You know who?
I mean, he shifts offensive linemen in motion. Like, he runs a lot of plays where, like, Pratt Freiermuth will get handoffs on a jet, like a tight end jet sweep handoff. Like, just crazy stuff like that. We saw a glimpse of it last year in his first year. There were a couple plays that we got touchdowns on where it was just we just tricked the defense. They didn't know what was going on. But I like that type of thing. I like scheme trick plays versus like an actual trick play. It's not like a double lateral wide receiver throwing the football. It's more just there's so much shifting, the defense gets out of position and then you score. But it's still once the ball snapped, it's like a straight up play. It's just players are moved where the defense aren't ready for it.
Kind of like a Baltimore true RPO where like we have this set up.
Or even kind of like Kansas City when they do the snap like shuffle pass to Kelsey, that kind of thing. It's like a trick play, but in theory it's kind of just like a handoff to Kelsey up the middle. It's not like this weird play where
everyone's
you're
stats
12
are boosted.
Yeah, you're not like 12 yards down, like behind the line of scrimmage with the wide receiver ready to throw it. Like that kind of stuff is like, that's scary because that stuff, you're praying.
You need the smartest offensive lineman.
Yeah, that's the issue. We're so young.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's Mountain Dew Zero Bajas in there for you.
I saw that. You get these for me now?
Well, actually, because they were in the cooler when I left your house.
I know. I know that.
But I wanted to put them in the fridge before you came over.
Delicious.
So knowing what you know now, Madden ratings have come out. Bears are the 4th worst team. Now, I will say, the shafting of Minka is truly appalling.
That's bad. 11th best safety.
I can't get over the Darnell Mooney thing. Like, second-year dude over 1,000 yards, touchdowns. To be a 79 overall is bullshit.
The weird thing is Madden's usually just media hype. Is usually what it's about.
They never used to have their ratings released like that. So it used to be like after week 1, the whole thing's changed.
Yeah. But like I said, the media hype is usually what Madden's all about, which is fine. Like Vince Young's probably one of the highest rated rookie quarterbacks ever. Stuff like that. Like the hype is what drives things. And I have no issue with that. So like by that argument, it's like, okay, Darnell Mooney's not rated highly, Deontay Johnson's low, Robert Quinn's low, whatever. But like, how's TJ Watt? What does he need to do to get a 99 rating in Madden?
So watching this field goal, my biggest thing is that Cairo Santos is not in the top 10 after making 40 consecutive field goals, and then Matt Nagy threw him out there for a 65-yarder at Heinz Field, or Amerisher Field. Like,
Yeah.
he was the best kicker in football for like 18 months.
Heinz Field, people don't realize that there's only like 2 kickers in the history of Heinz Field who've made multiple from 50 yards.
And he got a 65.
And
And he missed it by 12 yards.
they were,
But that was it was good at 52.
and they're Boswell
Oh, he killed it.
and Justin Tucker.
But yeah, and
But
Tucker can kick it to the fucking moon.
Yeah, I know. And those are the only 2 guys who made multiple kicks of over 50 yards. The thing about Heinz Field is you don't have to just have leg power to kick at 50 yards. The field's also kind of crappy. It's mushy.
It's,
So you have to have,
like Soldier Field. Yeah, it's got.
So you have to kick it correctly.
The sod is super loose.
So it's not like a Janikowski thing where you can just boot it.
Yeah, he was blessed. Let me kick from the sand trap here, and I can kick it 75 yards
I know, like
with no wind and a perfect 73 sunny day.
ball's gonna bounce off that turf and go.
Oh, what else I have?
No, I'm so zonked. Had a busy day yesterday at work.
Does your in your job with the social work aspect, does it change a lot between season and non-season?
No. Because kids don't really come and go. People aren't like wintering here with children, really. But it's busier during the school year because obviously, like, my job's based on who's calling in reports.
Right.
A lot of kids just aren't visible when there's not school. Like, you know,
There's more abuses and worse abuses probably during the summer because it's hard to report it because they're home with
as far as us, we don't get near these many reports because, like, if they're at home, who's gonna, unless a neighbor calls or a random bystander sees something,
I saw this 3-year-old chained to the tree with next to the
or they go to the
pit bull.
hospital. Like, but where you go to school, kids are around adults, they can tell stuff, and a lot of it's wrong because a kid will tell an adult something and it just out of context. But still, yeah, school's just busier. April's the absolute worst. Just because April's Child Abuse Awareness Month.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, they posted at schools and stuff, so everyone's like up in arms about it, thinking about it more.
My job's actually gotten more busy. I'm actually surprised. I've gotten more busy with more desirable patients. I'm surprised. I've seen between 50 and 70 patients a week.
Jeez.
Well, now I can't turn shit down because Nicole's not working, but... oh, wait, what was your biggest offseason move that you felt in your mind? In all the NFL? Mine was the Bears switching everything. GM, coach, OC, DC, schemes, back from 3-4 to 4-3 defense. Their offense went from a zone pass scheme to a zone run scheme. Let all their veterans go. The Bears are an entirely different team. To me, as a Bear fan, that's my number one move, and it has to be because it's every aspect of the game.
I'll go Chiefs wide receiver room. They got rid of 1 and 2, Tyreek and Pringle, and then added Juju and.
Well, Pringle was technically number 4 by numbers, but I think he did run more. He ran the second or third.
He was number 2 by the end of the season. Come playoff time,
he came
was the
strong.
number 2.
Yeah, he got strong.
Yeah, he was the number 2 in that offense at the end. So, not counting Kelsey. Obviously, Kelsey's
He doesn't count because he's not a wide receiver.
Yeah,
Right.
but like I said, that room, it just changed a lot. So I think it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. And I have no idea. Like, is Juju going to dominate? Is Sky Moore going to be awesome? Who knows? But they got all those picks for Tyreek. I think was a good move. I think that's really savvy on the GM of the Chiefs' part to get rid of a receiver who is aging, who's basically just stupid fast. And once that goes away, we'll be not that good anymore. And getting a bunch of picks and not having to pay him $30 million a year.
So to switch from sports.
Oh, and they got Valdez-Scantling.
Yep. Oh, no hands.
One more topic or so.
I did. I had the idea written down, but I didn't have the website to get it there. God, there's a lot of pages. Hold on. I'm skipping it down. What year were you born?
94.
So the other thing I was thinking about, cost of things when you were born. 94. God damn, you're a baby. Woo!
Well, I mean, cost of things are down, but people made less too.
Well, luckily I have inflation in there.
No, it is funny.